APSU TV News, March 8th, 2023, Take 4, A Mark. Due to a recent blackout, we were unable to broadcast the news last Friday. Here is what the news would have been that week. A mobile home destroyed in a fire, a 7-year-old missing for 2 years and counting, and Walter Mirish's passing. All that and more on this week's APSU TV News. Filling in for Ashley Hughes, Alan Barty, Kinsley Andrews, Mackenzie Wallace, and Jamar Perkins Ashford, I'm Colton Richards, live in Lecanto, Florida. A mobile home and a vehicle were destroyed in a fire Monday night in North Clarksville. Clarksville Now reports several people were living in the home and got out safely, but one of them had to run back in to rescue their pets. Assistant Fire Chief Michael Rios says that person received oxygen at the scene, but did not need to go to the hospital. The fire spread to vehicles parked near the home. One was destroyed and another damaged. Also, another nearby mobile home had heat damage. It has been almost 2 years since Summer Wells vanished from her home in East Tennessee, and the FBI and TBI still not have said whether they are any closer to finding her. The Amber Alert was issued for Summer on June 15th, 2021. It still remains active. Summer's 7th birthday was last month. The sheriff's office says she was reported missing from her family's home in Hawkins County. If you have any information on this issue, call 1-800-TBI-5. Walter Mirish, the astute and Oscar-winning film producer who oversaw classics such as Some Like It Hot, West Side Story, and In the Heat of the Night, has died of natural causes, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences said Saturday. He was 101 years old. Mirish died on Friday in Los Angeles. Mirish received the Best Picture Academy Award for 1967's In the Heat of the Night, and the company run by him and his brothers also produced the Best Picture Oscar winners The Apartment and West Side Story. Speaking of the Oscars, watch the Oscars this Sunday on ABC. There have been new details in a hit and run involving a motorcycle. Investigators have received photographs of the vehicle. Clarksville Now reports the motorcyclist was making a left-hand turn onto Madison from the bypass last month. A person in a car traveling eastbound on Madison ran the red light and struck the motorcycle. If you have information on the vehicle, the occupants, or the driver, call the Crime Stoppers tip line at 931-645-8477 or submit a tip to their website. The Clarksville Police Department is asking for the public's help in locating a man wanted in an assault case. Officers say 27-year-old Dalton Lawrence assaulted a 33-year-old man at the victim's residence and then ran away. Officers say this was not a random act as both men knew each other. Lawrence is 6 foot tall and weighs approximately 195 pounds. He has brown hair and green eyes and should be considered armed and dangerous. We have new information in a car chase from Stewart to Montgomery County. Investigators have identified the driver as Thomar Booker. Booker fled from his car on foot on February 22nd to evade law enforcement. Clarksville Now says warrants have been issued for evading arrest along with several warrants involving the manufacture, delivery, sale, or possession of controlled substances. Booker is believed to be in the Nashville or Jolton, Tennessee areas. If you have information, contact the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office at 931-648-0611. A company that produces electrolytes used in lithium batteries will open a $70 million manufacturing plant in Clarksville. Clarksville Now reports Donghua Electrolytes plant will provide 68,000 jobs that pay between $55,000 and $150,000 a year. Governor Lee and Donghua officials announced this will be the company's first manufacturing facility in the U.S. Donghua Electrolytes Clarksville operations will better the will better position the company to serve electric vehicle lithium battery producers across the Southeast, while also supporting its growing customer demand for electrolyte and other electronic materials. Car thefts are on the rise, but there is a lot you can do to help keep your car safe from thieves. Clarksville Police have their Park Smart initiative with 3 simple steps. Lock your vehicle before leaving it unattended. Secure any valuables in your car, including firearms, and ensure any keys are on your person and not left in the car. The creator of the Dilbert comic strip is facing an uncertain future after he defended remarks describing people who are black as members of a hate group from which white people should get away. Dilbert creator and artist Scott Adams referenced a Rasmussen Reports survey during a YouTube video last week. The survey asked whether people agreed with the statement, "It's okay to be white." Various media publishers across the U.S. denounced Adams' comments as racist, hateful, and discriminatory, while saying they would no longer provide a platform for his work. Good news for families with special needs who visit the Wilma Rudolph Event Center. A new adult-sized changing table will be available at the center in Liberty Park by the end of June. The adult changing table will make it easier for those needing special assistance and their families and caregivers to visit Liberty Park this summer. Clarksville Online says the city was awarded a $5,000 grant to make the installation possible. The funding came from a new statewide grant program from the Tennessee Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. This program funds the installation of adult changing tables to help nearly 200,000 Tennesseans who find using public restrooms difficult. Moving on to the political corner. Tennessee Republican Congressman Andy Ogles is under fire for allegedly embellishing his resume. The allegations came after new information regarding his degree from Middle Tennessee State University. Ogles claimed he graduated from MTSU with an international relations degree and referred to himself as an economist. However, an investigation from Nashville's WTBF-TV revealed that his degree from MTSU was actually in liberal arts. WTBF-TV also discovered that Ogles' claims of being an economist were also inaccurate, as his transcripts revealed only one economic course from a community college. Ogles verified the claims made against him after pulling his transcripts from MTSU and admitted he was mistaken. As Tennessee lawmakers work on adjusting current abortion guidelines, Governor Bill Lee proposes funneling over $100 million for an anti-abortion centers across Tennessee. In response to a post-Roe v. Wade world, the Tennessee GOP is looking to expand current government programs aimed at women and children. Lee is focusing on pregnant mothers and parents on Medicaid, along with newborns of state employees. Governor Bill Lee made the announcement during his State of the State address. The Clarksville City Council is once again looking at a proposed ordinance that would set the stage for a home rule to be put on Clarksville's upcoming ballot. Clarksville Now reports that the council's consideration of the proposal had been put on hold for 6 months. A home rule would allow the city of Clarksville the privilege of changing its charter similar to a city's constitution. Clarksville looks to follow the path of other major cities, including Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Memphis, who all currently have their own home rules. Currently, any amendments to Clarksville's private charter must be approved by the state, and if passed, Clarksville citizens would be able to vote on any changes or amendments every 2 years through referendums. The future of President Biden's student debt relief plan appears rather grim, as the nation's high court examines whether the plan is an unconstitutional reach of power by the president. The Supreme Court overheard 2 challenges to the order, one from Republican-led states, and as well as the other from a group who didn't meet the program's criteria for debt relief. As arguments were heard, Justice Brett Kavanaugh expressed concerns of expanding presidential powers during state of emergencies. The Biden administration defended the program, arguing that the powers allotted from a 2003 law allowed debt cancellation in states of emergencies like the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Justice John Roberts added that Congress did not approve the president to authorize such funds, especially without considering the financial implication for millions of Americans. While the future of the program has not been decided yet, the program is expected to be struck down by the conservative justices. Here's the forecast for today. Today's 7-day forecast has a high of 55 and a low of 42 today. Tomorrow is 57, 55 on Friday, 54 on Saturday, 54 on Sunday, 47 on Monday, 46 on Tuesday, and 51 on Wednesday. Now on to sports. In women's basketball, the Lady Govs advanced to the ASUN Conference Tournament semifinals, where they have a date with the number 1 seed, Florida Gulf Coast University, tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. In softball, this weekend is the Govs Classic after Jordan Benefiel threw a no-hitter in an 8-0 win. The Govs Classic starts at 5 on Friday versus the University of Illinois Chicago. After last Friday's blackout, the baseball team has 2 doubleheaders in Evansville, Indiana versus Purdue Fort Wayne. Those doubleheaders start Friday at 2 Eastern, 1 Central. The men's basketball team played their last games in the state of Florida on a road trip, losing to Stetson and Florida Gulf Coast, with that score being 89-71. Austin Peay finished their season with a 9-23 overall record. With a 3-15 conference record, the Govs were 7-8 at home and 1-13 on the road. As a result, basketball head coach Nate James was fired after 2 years. Austin Peay had already got 1 player in Caleb Stone Carrawell enter the transfer portal and could have more following behind him. Now the women's basketball team is still pushing, as they were 2 days away from the ASUN tournament quarterfinal matchup against the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. The Govs are the number 4 seed in the playoffs, so they will be hosting the first round matchup. Austin Peay played Eastern Kentucky just once this season in Richmond and won by the score of 82-69. That game was probably one of my favorite team wins as well, due to the fact that the Govs had 6 players score in double figures. The time for that game was 4 Eastern, 3 Central. Austin Peay's baseball team is 8 games into the season, and they have struggled so far in the season with a 2-6 record. But they have faced some tough competition with their most recent game and loss being in Nashville this past Tuesday, when they lost to the number 7 nationally ranked Vanderbilt 11-7, and that was a game that Austin Peay honestly had with a 5-1 lead early. Now, as far as tough competition goes, it stays tough, as the Govs will look to take another nationally ranked opponent in a series this weekend against number 12 Oklahoma State. The former school head coach, Roland Fanning, was a coach at. The series will start today at 4 p.m. and will continue on Saturday and Sunday at both 1 in the afternoon. Breaking news in the football program, they have decided to extend Coach Scotty Walden's contract through the 2025 season. APSU Director of Athletics Gerald Harrison gave comments on his reason for the extension and used the words "no-brainer" to describe his decision. Coach Walden is coming off of a very successful year after winning a share of the ASUN Conference Championship and will look to gain his 4th straight winning season this year. Austin Peay basketball alum Terry Taylor has found a new home in the NBA. After spending almost 2 seasons with the Indiana Pacers, Taylor was waived from the team a few weeks ago around the trade deadline and actually went home back to Kentucky to keep working out, and even was in attendance to the final men's game in the Dun. But he has since been picked up by none other than 6-time NBA champion Chicago Bulls and has already scored for the team, has been balling out with their G League affiliates. Now, earlier this year at an Austin Peay football game, we had a squirrel draw a lot of attention on the field, and I was kind of surprised, but I don't think I'd ever or think this animal would ever stir attention at a softball game of all things, CNN has the story. Take a look. That's all the time we have for sports. You have probably noticed a confusing sign on the westbound lanes of Interstate 24 the past few days. The sign currently says Clarksburg, but it should say Clarksville. Clarksville Now reached out to City Mayor Joe Pitts, who said he asked the Tennessee Department of Transportation for help in correcting this issue. Pitts told Clarksville Now, quote, "Everyone makes mistakes and deserves an opportunity to correct them. I've sent another photo of the issue to TDOT asking for their help," end quote. You'll see new trees dotting the landscape at Liberty Park, helping to reinforce Clarksville's title as Tree City, USA. Clarksville citizens planted approximately 2,300 tree seedlings there this morning for Arbor Day. Clarksville Master Gardeners passed out 5 free seedlings to participants to help people to plant trees and take care of the planet. The Clarksville Tree Board Forestry Division hosted this morning's event. The Arbor Day Foundation has recognized Clarksville with the title Tree City, USA for 34 years in a row. A natural wonder from a bird's eye view. Would you want to see the beauty of the Northern Lights? Take a look at this. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at APSU TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching APSU TV News, live from Lecanto, Florida. I'm Colton Richards. Have a fantastic spring break, and as always, let's go pee.